Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been meticulous about your diet, lost some weight, and then gained it back? Have you ever eaten less than usual, but somehow weighed more? Have you ever done everything right, diet, exercise, calorie counting, and yet the number on the scale refused to budge? If this sounds familiar, then this video is for you. Because the problem might not be your diet at all. It might be 6 hormones no one told you about. Think of hormones as tiny messengers circulating in your blood, giving your body instructions. Store it as fat. If you're hungry, keep eating. Slow down, don't waste energy. When these messengers start sending the wrong instructions, no diet in the world can completely override them. And today, we'll look at each of the 6 hormones that are most important for weight. Hormone 1, insulin. Insulin is like a key. Every time you eat sugar or carbohydrates, your blood fills with glucose, sugar, and your body releases insulin to deal with it. When the key works properly, the sugar flows into your cells and becomes energy. But when you eat a lot of sugar repeatedly over months and years, something changes. Your cells start ignoring the insulin signal. Like a phone call you've heard too many times. When cells ignore insulin, the sugar can't get in. So instead of becoming energy, it gets stored as fat. And while insulin is elevated, your body essentially switches off fat burning completely. You cannot burn stored fat while your body is busy dealing with high insulin. This is why people who eat sugary foods all day are tired, store fat, and never seem to get thinner. Their fat cells never get the signal to release their energy. The fix is not complicated. Reduce sugar and refined carbs. Eat protein first at every meal, it slows how fast sugar enters the blood. Walk after meals, your muscles absorb sugar directly during movement, reducing the spike. These 3 things start improving insulin within days. Hormone 2, cortisol. Cortisol is your body's alarm hormone. It was designed for genuine physical emergencies, running from danger, fighting for survival. When the danger passes, cortisol drops. The problem is that your body cannot tell the difference between a lion chasing you and a stressful email. When you're chronically stressed, work, money, relationships, poor sleep, cortisol stays elevated. An elevated cortisol does 3 things that make weight loss almost impossible. First, it tells your body to store fat close to your vital organs, specifically around the belly, as emergency fuel. Second, it dramatically increases cravings for sugar and fatty food. Your body wants quick energy for the perceived emergency. Third, it slows your metabolism, to conserve energy in case the crisis lasts a long time. This is not a character flaw. This is biology doing exactly what it was designed to do. The cortisol is following its instructions perfectly. The problem is that those instructions were written for a world that no longer exists. The most powerful cortisol reducers are consistent sleep, daily moderate exercise, and even 10 minutes of slow breathing per day. These are not luxury wellness habits. They are hormonal medicine. Hormone 3, leptin. Leptin is your fullness hormone. It's made by your fat cells and its job is to travel to your brain and say, "We have enough stored energy, stop eating." When it works properly, you eat, feel satisfied, and stop naturally. But here's the problem. People who have been overweight for a while often have more leptin in their blood than lean people, not less. The issue is that the brain stops listening to it. Like a smoke alarm that rings so often you start tuning it out. When this happens, the brain genuinely thinks you're starving even when you have more than enough stored energy. So it sends constant hunger signals to make you eat more. You feel hungry all the time. You eat more. More fat is stored. More leptin is released. The brain ignores it more. The cycle feeds itself. The single most powerful thing you can do for leptin is sleep. When you don't sleep enough, leptin levels fall rapidly and you wake up genuinely hungrier than you should be. This is not imagination, it is a measurable hormonal shift that happens after a single bad night of sleep. 7 to 8 hours of consistent sleep is not optional for leptin, it is the primary repair mechanism. Hormone 4, thyroid hormones. Your thyroid is like the speed dial for your entire body. It decides how fast you burn energy, how fast your heart beats, how fast you digest food, how much heat you generate, how energetic you feel. When it's running at the right speed, everything works. When it slows down, everything slows down. An underactive thyroid is one of the most commonly missed causes of weight gain that doesn't respond to diet or exercise. The symptoms are easy to dismiss as other things. Constant tiredness even after a full night's sleep. Feeling cold all the time. Hair falling out. Brain fog. Gaining weight despite not eating more. Women are particularly vulnerable. Thyroid problems are 5 to 8 times more common in women than men. And a simple blood test from your doctor checks thyroid function in minutes. If you have been struggling with unexplained weight gain for a long time, this test is worth having before blaming yourself any further. Supporting thyroid function through nutrition is also straightforward. Iodine from seaweed, dairy, and eggs. Selenium from 2 Brazil nuts per day. Zinc from meat, seeds, and legumes. And critically, avoid crash dieting. Very low-calorie diets directly suppress thyroid function, which is one reason crash diets eventually stop working even when the person keeps restricting more. Hormone 5, estrogen. Estrogen doesn't just affect reproduction. It also decides where your body stores fat, and when it goes wrong, fat appears in places it never used to. There are 2 directions this can go wrong. Too much estrogen, which can happen with high stress, excess body fat, or exposure to chemicals in plastics, causes weight gain and makes fat particularly stubborn around hips and thighs. Too little estrogen, which happens during perimenopause and menopause, causes fat to redistribute specifically to the belly. Women often gain belly fat for the first time in their lives during this transition, not because they've changed what they eat, but because their estrogen has changed what their body does with it. Men are not exempt. Men also have small amounts of estrogen, and it can rise as body fat increases, because fat tissue produces estrogen. Elevated estrogen in men causes fat accumulation around the chest and hips and makes losing weight particularly stubborn. The most practical tools for estrogen balance. Eat more fiber. It physically binds excess estrogen in the gut and removes it from the body. Reduce alcohol. The liver processes both alcohol and estrogen, and when it's busy with alcohol, estrogen accumulates. Reduce plastic exposure. BPA in plastic containers mimics estrogen in the body. Hormone 6, ghrelin. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone. It's produced in your stomach when it's empty, and it sends an extremely persuasive message to your brain. Eat now. The problem is that ghrelin can be driven to abnormally high levels by poor sleep, by skipping meals, and especially by dieting. Here is something most people have never been told about diets. When you reduce your calories, your ghrelin levels rise significantly. Your body interprets a calorie deficit as the beginning of a famine and sends stronger and stronger hunger signals to make you eat. The longer the diet, the more powerful these signals get. And research shows that elevated ghrelin from dieting can persist for years after the diet ends. This is documented science, and it is the biological reason why almost everyone who crashes their way down to a lower weight gains it all back quickly when the diet stops. The hunger you feel during a diet is not weakness. It is ghrelin doing its job with extraordinary efficiency. The most powerful ghrelin fix is sleep again. A single night of poor sleep raises ghrelin measurably, increasing hunger the next day in a way that has nothing to do with how much you actually ate. Adequate protein at every meal also suppresses ghrelin more effectively than carbohydrates or fat. And regular, consistent meals prevent the extreme ghrelin spikes that come from skipping. Here's the bigger picture. These 6 hormones don't operate independently. They work as a connected system, and they have one common enemy: chronic poor sleep. And one common friend: a lifestyle that reduces stress, provides adequate protein, includes regular movement, and prioritizes consistent sleep. You don't need a perfect diet to fix these hormones. You need the right conditions. Sleep 7 to 8 hours. Eat protein at every meal. Walk daily, even for 30 minutes. Reduce sugar and processed food. Manage stress through any means that works for you. And if you have been doing all of this and still struggling, ask your doctor for a full hormonal blood panel. The answers may be there, waiting to be found. The weight gain was not your fault. The hunger was real. The fatigue was real. The cravings were real. They were all driven by hormones that were responding exactly as designed to a set of modern conditions they were not designed for. Fix the conditions. The hormones follow. The weight follows the hormones. See you in the next video.
Yeah, we did it! Thanks for subscribing!
That's a brief look at Health Explained. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.